Welcome back, children. In the previous lecture, we have seen the difference between diagrams and graphs. This difference can also be used as a definition between diagrams and graphs. Now, continuing with the chapter Importance of Graphs, we shall now see the types of diagrams. There are many types of commonly used diagrams like pictogram, scatter diagram, line diagram based on time periods, circle diagram, bar diagram, and pie diagram. But in this chapter, we shall understand about time-based line diagram, bar diagram, and pie diagram. We shall now see the various diagrams one by one. Let us start with time-based line diagram. Pictures which show the shape or slope of relationship in economics between two variables are often drawn. They can be a demand curve, a supply curve, relation between price and demand, relationship between supply and price. The independent variable is measured on the x-axis and the dependent variable is measured on the y-axis. For example, size of population in different time periods, rate of inflation in various years, literacy rate, etc. all can be depicted in the time-based line diagram. Normally, in the x-axis, we have to take the year, and on the y-axis, we have to take the growth rate in population. Corresponding to the year, we have to plot the growth rate in population, and after plotting, we have to draw a line, and the straight line is the time-based line diagram. The image of the percentage growth rate of population in India since 1951 is depicted. The source is taken from Census of India. We can see that the year is plotted on the x-axis and corresponding to the year the values are plotted on the y-axis. In 1951 to 61 the percentage growth rate of population was 21.64. So we can plot in the graph paper. Similarly, in 1961 to 71 the percentage growth rate of population was 24.80. By plotting all these points and joining them, we get a time-based line diagram. You can refer the same on page 8 of your textbook, page 4 of your textbook. In our series of the various types of diagrams, the next is bar diagram and types. Let us now see the definition of a bar diagram. A bar diagram shows distribution of the values of variable in various components. A vertical or horizontal bar is drawn for each value of the variable. A separate bar is drawn for each section or time period, and the height and length of the bar indicates the value of that section or time period. By comparing the height or length of the bars, a comparison can be made of the values of each section. Generally, there are three types of bar diagrams: simple bar diagram, clustered bar diagram, and divided bar diagram. Let us see all the three types in detail. First, we shall see the meaning and example of a simple bar diagram. A simple bar diagram represents values of only one variable over a base, say various regions or years. It gives a visual effect of the difference in the value of the variables between regions, years, and so on. For example, we have taken the monthly sale of chocolate boxes in a shop. We shall now see the clustered bar diagram. In this type of diagram, values of a common variable over a common base are given for more than one section of related parameters. The values are expressed for two categories, namely males and females for one time period. Two bars showing literacy level for females and males respectively are drawn in a cluster. We have seen the cluster bar diagram showing monthly sale of different sizes of boxes in a shop. The sizes can be small size, medium size, and large size. Let us now see the divided bar diagram. In such a diagram, every single value of the variable has subcategories. We get divisions in all the bars which represent a common variable and common base values. We can take the monthly sale of a particular product by a salesperson in rural areas and urban areas. Let us now understand all these diagrams in detail. We start with a simple bar diagram wherein we have plotted the months on the x-axis and we have plotted the sale of units in the y-axis. Corresponding to the month, we have plotted the sale of units. In January-February, the sale of units was 35. Similarly, in March and April, it was 60. Likewise, for all the points, when we plot the diagrams and we draw corresponding bars, we get the simple bar diagram. For all these diagrams, we have to take the scale, which should be taken according to the given data. You have already learnt all these things in your statistics in standard 11. We shall now see how the cluster bar diagram is depicted. We have taken the sale of chocolate boxes of different sizes in a shop. We have taken small size, medium size and large scale. In January-February, the sale of small size boxes was 30 units, medium size was 15 and large size was 25. Similarly, in March and April, it was 40, 25 and 50. By plotting all the points and drawing corresponding graphs, 3 graphs, we will get the clustered bar graph. The next is divided bar graph. We have taken the number of chocolates sold in rural and urban areas. For example, in January-February, we have taken 30 units in the rural areas, 40 units in the urban areas and 70. So, first we will take 70 and then we will divide it between 40 and 30. So, by plotting the points, we will get the percentage bar graph or the divided bar graph. The following points are to be remembered. All these diagrams are mainly drawn to create a proper visual effect and help in comparison. They are colored differently. The values which they represent are indicated on it. We shall see the aspects, rules, regulations or guidelines to be considered while drawing a bar graph. The width of the bars does not represent any data, hence all the bars should be of equal width. The length of the bars should be proportional to the value of the variable. The distance between all the bars should be equal. All the bars should rest on the same line, which is the x-axis. All the bars should be arranged from left to right in order of the data series. Therefore, the bar representing the first data in the series is drawn near the point of origin. In our last series of diagram, we have the pie diagram. Division of circle in degrees represents the pie diagram. Pie diagram is drawn for similar type of data for which the bar diagram can be drawn. In other words, a diagram which is drawn by representing subdivisions of an entire data by presenting in proportionate degrees with the help of a circle is a pie diagram. The formula for the pie diagram is degree equals component value upon total value multiplied by 360. Let us see the aspects or the points to be considered while drawing a pie diagram. Please remember 360 degrees make a circle. The sum total of degrees of all such divisions must be 360. If the data is to be compared across regions or time periods, then 2 pie graphs can be drawn side by side. You have learnt how to compute a pie chart or to draw a pie diagram in standard 11. The same is presented in page 8 of your textbook. Kindly go through. To make the process of understanding simple, we have shown all the types of diagrams with the help of a chart. The first is time-based diagram. The second is bar diagram, which is divided into 3 categories: simple bar diagram, clustered bar diagram and divided bar diagram. And the last is the pie diagram. The other types of diagrams which are mentioned are of not much importance in the syllabus, so we have not explained in detail. After the series of diagrams, let us come to the type of graphs. Usually, economics uses graphs and statistics classifies graphs as under time series graphs. For continuous frequency distribution, we have histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, cumulative frequency polygon and logarithmic graphs. The same is presented to you in the form of a table for better and easy understanding. We shall just see the time series graphs Since the syllabus does not include other types of graphs, they are not discussed here. Time series graphs are normally used in trade cycles or economic activities. Short term and long term regular or irregular changes are observed. The trends of such changes are obtained with the help of statistical tools. And when graphs are drawn, taking these changes as variable, we get the time series graph. This comes or brings to the end of the section of diagrams and graphs. We shall see the use of technology in study of economics in the next session.